Hey guys, welcome to today's show. Thanks for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed my first video on intro to flash photography. I'm going to continue talking about how to use your flash. There are a lot of different modes that you can use your flash in. There's manual mode and ETTL. Really, there's kind of two. Now, a lot of people or a lot of photographers such as myself, we shoot in manual mode with these flashes, but you can use ETTL. So what is ETTL? ETTL is through the lens. So the flash is in essence controlling how much light output is being given. Now ETTL, like I said, is an automatic mode for your flash. Just like you have an automatic setting for your camera, you have an automatic mode for your flash. So let's look at some details with the flash and what these buttons mean. All right, what is up guys? I'm here in my lair, ready to show you guys how to use the functions on your flash. Now, before I begin, this is not an actual tutorial on how to use your 580EX or really any other type of particular flash. This is just a general overview of all the functions available on your external flash. Any external flash that has a backlit screen such as this one. Okay, we're gonna cover 5 things. First one is we're going to cover is your modes that are available on your flash. Your first one is ETTL, second one is manual mode, and third one is multi-sync, which is your stroboscopic mode. We'll get into that later. I don't want to confuse you guys, just throw too much at you right now. Second thing we're going to cover is your flash head's ability to zoom in and out. Yes, your flash has the ability to zoom in and out. Third thing we're going to cover is your high-speed sync. Your high-speed sync overrides the camera's 1/250th of a second limit, or if your camera shoots at 1/200th of a second, your flash can override that. Fourth thing we're going to cover is how to read your flash output power. So if you ever seen these numbers right here, 1-1 or even 1-2, 1-4, 1-8, I'm going to show you exactly what those mean. Fifth thing we're going to cover is how your lens interacts with your flash. Okay, real quick, ETTL, as I said in the past, is an automatic mode for your flash. Your flash will judge how much power to give out based on your camera's settings. Your flash is basically going to read your camera settings. In this case, I have it on AV priority, so aperture priority. So I'm going to let the flash read the camera, and I'm going to let the flash decide how much strength to give based upon my settings. So I'm going to hold this shutter button halfway down, and I'm going to see what the readings are. I just want to let you guys know some flashes do pick up whether your flash head is pointed in the appropriate direction, so it has to be facing forward for this to be automatic. If I tilt it up like this, as you can see, that changes right there. So you want to make sure that it's locked into position facing forward, that way it's on a full automatic setting. So here we go, I'm going to hold that shutter button halfway down, and it's giving me a reading of f11, and my lens is a prime 50mm lens. If I had a zoom lens on there, I would have been able to zoom in and out, and this number will change accordingly based on how far I zoom in and out. But in this case, I only have a 50mm lens, so it's fixed. Okay, so the next thing I want to go over is your manual mode. So we can cycle through the different modes by pushing the mode button. Nikons, I'm not too sure exactly. I do have a Nikon SB600, don't have it out with me, but you can choose your mode button. You can cycle through the different modes. So here we're in manual mode, and there's your multi-sync mode or your stroboscopic mode, and you have your ETTL. So we're going to go to manual here because I do want to show you the different functions and abilities you have in manual mode. Here we have the 1/8. If you guys ever wondered how to measure or read your flash output strength, this is it right there. This number will tell you just how strong your flash output is. Now, if you wanted to know what full power is, this is full power. 1-1. So if you see 1-1, that means your flash is set at full power. Half power is 1/16. So this should give you an idea of how much strength or how much power to use when you're shooting portraits, or you're doing some strobos work outside in the field or what have you. You can drop it down in increments, and you can go down all the way to 130. Actually, you can go down further, but 132 is going to be the next stop down. and then you have 164 all the way to 128. So you can jump whole numbers, 128, 164, 132, and 116. But even then, it allows you to move in smaller steps to just give yourself a little more power. If you're on 1/16th, you can, plus 0.7, 0.3, and then back to 1/16th. Okay, so that's how you read your output strength. Now, another thing to be aware of, and this is the other thing we're going to cover, is your sync speed. Some cameras are limited to 250th of a second or 1/200th of a second. Just depends on which camera you have. This means that with an external flash mounted on your camera, the fastest your camera will shoot at, your shutter speed, will be 1/250th of a second or 1/200th of a second. Now, a lot of your flashes can override that and have the ability to shoot in what's called high sync speed mode. Now, in this case, how to get there on your 580EX or even your 430s is by pushing this button right there. So if we push this button, it'll cycle through the different functions, or pushing it again, it will give you this little icon here with an H with a lightning bolt next to it. That lets you know that you are in high speed sync mode. Excuse me for that little tongue twister. In this case, I can exceed the 250th or 200th of a second. I can go as fast as my camera goes. If yours shoots at 4,000ths of a second, it will allow you to shoot at those speeds. This is when you're outdoors, there's a lot of ambient light and you need a little fill flash and you need to speed up your flash. This allows you to do that. Or it could be a variety of things. If you have an action shot that you'd like to do with your strobes and you need to freeze that action a little bit more, then you can activate the high speed sync and allow you to do a lot more stuff rather than just be stuck at 1/250th of a second. Now, the next thing I wanted to go over is your flash head. It does zoom in and out. So if you want more harsh light, then you probably want to zoom all the way in. So you have 105 as the max on this one, all the way to 24 millimeters. And even then, I believe you can override it. So it does give you a big range to work with if you're shooting different kinds of portraits. If you want to spread out the light, then you want to make sure that you're zoomed out all the way to its maximum. Or if you want some harsher light, then you want to make sure you're zoomed in to its maximum. Okay guys, so that's pretty much it. So there's your different modes: ETTL, manual, multi-sync mode, or your stroboscopic mode, which we'll get into that later. And then you have your zoom, which your flash head zooms in and out. And you have your high sync speed mode, which is right here. And that allows you to override your camera's limitations on how fast you can shoot with an external flash. All right, I hope this helps. Now, there is a number of cheap alternatives to buying flashes. You don't always have to buy the 580EX if you guys don't want to spend the cheese on that. What you can do is an alternative, which I like. I'm actually waiting for them. I've ordered 2 of them, is the Yongnuo 565EX. These flashes are pretty awesome. They're equivalent to the 580EX in size and in features. So you guys can check out those flashes. I'll leave links in the description bar below. As soon as I get the flashes, I will do a full review. Now, they're about 158 bucks, not too bad. I've seen them between 150 and 160. So I urge you guys to check out those flashes as they come packed with tons of features. There is the 560 available, and they're not bad flashes, they're pretty good. The only thing is that with the tutorials that we're gonna move into, this 565 does come with more features that will allow you to accomplish different types of images using all the settings and features that are on there. So I encourage you to check them out both. But if you guys would like to, you can purchase those 565s. I do encourage you to get those, as they are a great alternative to the 580EX from Canon. And they also make them from Nikon, so all you Nikon users, take them out. They do make them available for your cameras as well. All right guys, I'm out of here. I just wanted to make sure you guys get familiar with all the settings and all the buttons that are available on your flash units. we will start going over them in more detail, but at least you have something to start with right now. As we move into more tutorials, we're gonna cover more of those buttons on what they do. I don't wanna confuse you guys, I don't wanna bombard you guys, I wanna give you guys everything in doses. That way at least you can start practicing and using those particular settings. So before we start moving into manual, I wanna give you guys some homework. I want you guys to start using your ETTL. Start shooting with that and see what your camera spits out at you or what your flash spits out at you. Look at the settings, meter it, hold that shutter button halfway and see exactly what your flash settings are giving you, okay? So check that out, let me know how you go, and leave all your comments and suggestions below, and any questions, I'll get back to you. Thanks again guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next tutorial. Peace. Okay guys, I'm out of here. I just wanted to make sure that you guys start getting familiar with all the buttons, where we'll, it's cool. Oh, this is my parents. Hello? Hey mom.